Yeah, so this all of your spreadsheet, your prospect list, your pitch deck, all of the desktop research you've done, all of it comes down to a single moment, which is your ask. Okay, so actually asking for whatever you're asking for. This can be a really high pressure moment for some people. Sure, you could skirt around the issue or maybe send a follow-up email, but honestly, the best way is with one clear slide explaining what you're looking for and how they might be involved. So if this is as a funder, what you're looking for is, we're really looking for 3 funders who can contribute $20,000 each to help us get this project off the ground. You're really zeroing in to look at them and say, well, you're still here, you haven't kicked me out of your office, we've had a great conversation about all of these things and it's led to this moment. This is what I need to make this happen. For most grant funders and philanthropists, they're pretty used to people asking them for money, right? They have probably assumed you're not here just to have a chit chat, right? So it's not going to really come as a surprise to them. But ideally, when you've warmed this up, to the extent that it's possible and useful, and I'll come back to that, you probably want to sort of warm it up with, hey, I am looking for funding, or hey, your friend says, hey, I'm introducing Dan because he's out looking for funding for a project I thought you would be interested in. Okay, so at least when you walk in the room, they kind of already know that's what you're here for. Okay, look, it's unlikely for it to be a surprise to them anyway, but it's always good if they're under no illusions that's what you're here for, and if they've accepted the meeting on that basis, you're already in a much stronger position. Okay, the only thing you need to be cautious of is if they just say no before they've actually even had a chance to look at your idea, understand what you're wanting to talk about, etc. That's the one risk to trying to warm up a lead with Dan's going to be, is interested in talking to you about some funding. Okay, so you're going to have to kind of, form a judgment on that. The other type of conversation that you might have is actually, you haven't specifically requested a meeting with them. Maybe you've met them at an event. Maybe you've been introduced. You're standing next to them. You know that they're a potential funder. Do you ask them there and then? Again, you're kind of going to have to use your judgment. I think the more kind of probably the better trodden path on that is to say, hey, I'd love to come and talk to you about a project that I'm looking to get off the ground, or an enterprise I'm looking to get off the ground, and we're looking for funders, and I think you might be interested in it. At least that gives them an out, and they can politely say, oh, I'm not interested. People are, you pitch what they've got, and they either buy it or they don't. How clear you want to be with that ask. There is no one rule, all right? However, could you be really clear and upfront about the ask versus, sort of dance around it and hope that they offer something? I would err on being clear, okay? I would err on being upfront, even before the meeting, at the start of the meeting, and saying, look, I want to take you through this idea. One of the things that we are really keen to explore is the potential to work together, or the potential for you to fund part of this project. So, it'd be great for you to keep that in mind as we go through this conversation. Or it might be waiting to the end and saying, look, I'm really interested in your feedback, what you think about this, your experience in this issue. I'm also really interested in whether there's potential for you to fund part of this. I think all of those options are better than you kind of going, wonderful conversation, see you later, thanks for your time, and then timidly sending an email like a week later saying, hey, that thing that we talked about that time ago, do you reckon you got any money?
Most investors have in their head this checklist, and if you get an X on any of the items in the checklist, they're going to be like, nah, and they're going to move on. And it doesn't mean that they're mean. It just means that they want to find a diamond in the rough. They want to find an outlier that is actually going to go from 0 to 100.
what is this person wanting from this, right? Because if it's a family and their foundation, maybe they really care about this issue. You've really convinced them on the problem. They really want to get behind it. But the last thing they want to feel like is like that they're just a checkbook to you, okay? And they want to get involved in your business, and they want to sit on your board, or one of the kids in the family wants to work in the enterprise, or I don't know, whatever that looks like. But you've got to kind of along the way gauge what is this person also looking for from me. Right? What am I looking for from them, and what are they looking for from me? Sure, foundations have to spend a certain amount of money each year and give away a certain amount of money each year, but I don't think many of them will see themselves as just a checkbook, right? So understanding what's important to them and what you represent to them as well is a critical way of, I think, thinking about and tailoring the ask that you have.
You've made it all the way through making a slide deck. You've focused on what problem you're trying to solve instead of what your solution is. You've taken the time to find a lot of leads, making sure they're actually the right people for you to pitch to. You've made a focused, short set of slides to help you keep the conversation on track, including a clear articulation of what the financials are and what your ask is. The only thing now is to just get pitching. You'll be continually revising this set of slides as you learn what questions people ask and what information needs to be clearer. Always remember to put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, what role do I need to play in that story?